Okay, hi. Welcome to week 2. I said I was going to upload all my battles, and here I am, with the week 2 game. Southampton Scissors are going against the Virginia Kangaskons, which should be quite an interesting matchup. We're going against Bwebu. I don't say that name, but they're a pretty experienced player. It could be quite hard to match up, especially looking at their team. It's a hyper offense team, which is definitely something to be afraid of in most situations. So that's something to keep in mind, that I always have to be playing against a really offensive team. So looking at his Pokemon, we have Beedrill Mega. Super fast Pokemon. Obviously adaptability, it hits like a truck. It's quite scary. We have Zapdos. Again, another fast offensive threat. Very good dual stab. Sharing out of Hawlucha. Obviously, I think it's better than Hawlucha personally. Obviously that's out of terrain, like obviously. And then Hoopa Unbound, also extremely scary offensive Pokemon. However, this Pokemon always suffers at, the fact that it can just get U-turned out of and it does like a million damage all the time. Mamoswine, very underrated, not underrated, that's actually very well known for its dual stab combo that is very hard to resist. Ice ground, and then it also has rock coverage. It also has freeze drive for water types. It's a slow offensive Pokemon. It also has Thick That, which is something to note. Azu, very slow, again another physical attacker. Obviously they have huge power, it can belly drum, it can do so much. Serperior in tier 3, interesting. Serperior, very fast again, but this is a special offensive Pokemon. It's going to be spamming Leaf Storm, getting those special attack raises constantly, and then just going in against the other person. Sorry, I need to turn this. Okay, that's fine. Ditto, honestly, very scary because it makes you have to bring Pokemon that is good against your own team. Because, like, let's say I have Melmetal in. I need to bring a check to Melmetal. Let's say I have Dragon Ball in. I need to bring a check to Dragon Ball. Because he can just Ditto it and then starts doing the same things I have. Obviously, he's going to be forced to, most of the time, run Choice Scarf to outrun my own Dragon Ball. Also, if I tried to, it's the only thing stopping me from running a D-Dance set this week. Then we have some underrated Pokemon. Magmortar. Honestly, quite a pretty good Pokemon. It has decent coverage, has Thunder Bomb, has Focus Blast, and can hit pretty hard. Type Null is his only bulky Pokemon. This is how Web plays. He drafts hyper offensive like Type Null. Type Null can be actually pretty scary, very bulky with Eviolite. Can even run Swords Dance, Crush Claw, that sort of thing. And then these two threats. Pikachu, pretty fast. Light Ball obviously makes it extremely powerful, and it has Surf coverage. It's just extremely bad in every other department. And then obviously the Slacking, who can hit like a truck, but obviously it's the true one thing that you can only attack once until you have to reload. So looking at my team against what's good against this, actually let's just look at my team. There's my team. So this is the team I ran. First up we have Melmetal. Oh, that didn't work. Rocky Helmet. Now the Rocky Helmet was to punish Beedrill every time I wanted to U-turn out. It also, because a lot of his team is physical, it also quite contact, like Azu's contact, Zapdos' contact, that sort of thing. Even, like, if he goes to Ditto and then traces my own Melmetal, he'll be scared to collect Double Iron Bash because I have Rocky Helmet, which will do, like, a bunch to him. So these are the only two moves I really needed. Like, this Pokemon kind of ran through his team. His Steel resists were Magmortar and Pikachu. Those aren't good steel resists. Like, Magmortar's okay, but like dies to Earthquake and So I just brought two random moves. I brought Toxic as the last night. I'm never gonna be clicking that probably. And then Substitute, you never know. I might just want to get a Substitute up and so I can take like a hit from Zapdos or something. It's just that sort of thing. We built a very obviously offensive Adamant. Some speed. I'm trying to remember what this was style speed. What was that type speed? It might be like min speed, something. Maybe min speed type null. I can never remember what I speed creep for. But a tad of physical defense for the Beedrill, for the Azu, those sort of Pokemon that can be very scary to me. Next up we have Gardevoir. Where's the Psychic Resist? Oh, it's there. I found it. But it's also weak to Fairy moves, which makes it, just kind of easy to spam Psychic moves this game. And in hindsight, I probably should have. Like, there was an opportunity where I could have just clicked a Psychic move, but I clicked a, Fairy move and got kind of punished for it. But it's whatever. But yeah, that's why Gardevoir's really good here. Obviously, these things. I actually had Moonblast on here before, and I was like, I could have run a calm mindset, but I was just going to get revenged by Mega Beedrill this time. Super Lendia set, just max speed, max special attack. This was to speed tie with Zapdos. If I ever wanted to take that risk, if it was like costing the game or something, I might as well, right? But these two moves, mainly the only moves I'm going to be clicking. Destiny Bond was just kind of a niche thing I added on the end, just in case, like I really wanted it. And then Focus Blast kind of hits the type null, kind of hits the slacking, that sort of stuff. Also hits the Melmetal that he might trace with Ditto. Anyways, next up, this beast, Life Orb, Dragapult. It's actually leftovers. This was actually after. It was actually leftovers, so we're just going to change that real quick. This was leftovers. Infiltrator. And then we run a pretty similar set to that. I think it's actually the exact same set, maybe. It's Will-O-Wisp. Obviously, this is a much more offensive set. Will-O-Wisp with Hex and then Draco U-turn. I know it's basic, but it works. Like, everything on it, nothing on his team really wants to get Will-O-Wisp, apart from like the Serperior or Magmortar, or maybe Pikachu. Those are the only three that don't care about being Will-O-Wisped. So why not I just, slap it on there and have Hex on there too. Draco switch-ins is Azumarill. I know I say it weird. Don't talk about it. But it still dies. Like well, it doesn't die. It gets like Will-O-Wisp on the switch and then can get punished super hard anyways. And I have Melmetal, obviously a Rocky Helmet. Once it's burned, it can't really do much to Melmetal. Next up, Rotom Heat. We ran quite a different set this time. I wasn't expecting Stealth Rock, so I didn't run Heavy Duty Boots because his Stealth Rock setters are Mamoswine. If he traces my Nidoqueen, then yeah, he can set rocks. I'm trying to think if I else has them. Does Type Null get them? Probably not. I don't know. But I didn't. So this was just kind of a Reflect Will-O-Wisp set. Again, very physical team, very easy to just spam Reflect and Will-O-Wisps. And then obviously the Dual Stab, just because pivoting and Overheat can hit things like Serperior if I ever need to do damage to that thing. Quite interesting set. Speed Crept for something, again, I just don't know. But very bulky, max HP, a little bit of special attack investment, and then just a decent amount in both defenses, like more specially defensive for the Serperior. Next up we have Nidoqueen with a Sugar Berry. This is to help take a Drill Run from Beedrill, as well as it can take an Earthquake from Mamoswine or something. Or like an Earthquake from Slacking, I guess. But this is my main rock setter. It also just has, obviously, Dual Stab here. Kind of strong against this team. Doesn't really have the best switches to Sludge Wave, like, at all. It's like Beedrill and his own Ditto. That's it. Which, like, if I Earth Power on that turn, then he's kind of, like, fucked. I have actually used this in this match, by the way. And then I also have Reflect in the back. Wait, did I didn't even use it last game either. I just never used Nidoqueen. It's just there. And I have Reflect on this. I never actually knew this got Reflect. And it's just, again, for the physical things. Just max defense, max HP to help with Beedrill as much as possible. Kind of also helps with basically just that. Also, maybe Sponge Hits from Zapdos. I don't know. And finally, we have Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz's debut. Very standard set here. Defog Roost, Foul Play, U-turn. This is my Defogger just in case he does bring rocks on Mamoswine. Roost is obviously recovery. Foul Play hits his team so hard. Like, everything on his team gets hit by Foul Play. Even Pikachu just gets owned. I just find that so funny to me. The Pikachu just kind of get owned by a Foul Play. And then U-turns obviously to Pivot. This is a very physically defensive set. What was it to help with? Serperior, also Serperior. Oh yeah, Ward's Hooper. Unless it brings like Ice Punch, but that's why we're like physically defensive. And kind of just helps overall. So this is the team. Kind of pretty similar team to what we brought last week. Some of the sets were very similar. This set was pretty similar, just minus the no calm minds. This set basically the same. In fact, probably exactly the same style Heavy Duty Boots. This set different. This set the same. And obviously we never brought this before. But anyways, this is the actual battle. As we can see, no Azu, no Hooper. I guess no Hooper's fine. But he brings Slacking and Pikachu, the two threats, and then I realized, wait, Pikachu's actually kind of a threat. Like Light Ball, he don't have like Nasty Plot. Like this doesn't take it. This kind of takes it. This does a lot from knockoff. Surf, Thunderbolt. this guy is kind of a threat, and then Slacking was also there, kind of afraid of that thing too, because they can just kind of click moves, and that was like the scariest thing to me. I keep thinking I can't. They don't just see all my personal details. Oh no, this is such a shame. Okay, whatever. So turn 1, I'm thinking, what do I lead here? Because there's 2 leads I'm thinking that he could do, Beedrill or Ditto. Ditto is such a good lead because it's like mid-ground, like he gets to see one of my sets right off the bat. If I lead Melmetal, that's a good position for him. If I lead Dragapult, that's a very good position for him. Beedrill was also just kind of like, it just applies so much pressure to my team, they can just lead. Nothing on my team outspeeds it, I don't bring any Scarfers, and it can just U-turn out for 3. So I need to make sure music is off, yeah, put it on slow too. So I decide, in the end, to lead my Melmetal, because it deals with the Beedrill lead. I guess it can also kind of deal with the Ditto lead. Nothing else really scared this thing. And then he brings out his big man Slacking as his lead. So my thought process here is like, what? This is gonna Earthquake me, right? And I don't know how much that is gonna do. So he actually doubles out into Melmetal, and I kind of predicted this. I was like, so the safe play for him is just to go into Melmetal, right? I mean, into his Ditto, because it takes a double Iron Bash from this thing. I'm not going to Earthquake in the face of a Slacking, because it's not going to do much at all. So I pivot into Rotom Heat, an excellent play, because we rule Rotom Heat. I mean, we rule this. It could Toxic us, but why would it risk that when I can just Will-O-Wisp it? So he doubles back into Slacking here, which is quite an interesting play. He probably expected me to Overheat, and just wanted to take the Overheat as best as possible, because his team isn't the best against Overheat, apart from Mamo, even still. Or his own Ditto, but he's already in that, and it's Melmetal, so he can't do that. So here I just click Will-O-Wisp. This is amazing. This thing having burn is really good for me. I was mainly just clicking this to try and burn the Ditto, because that can also be really useful for me. So now I'm like, okay, this thing can't touch me. So I'm just going to set up a Reflect for 3. He actually reveals he's Focus Punch, and he gets the Focus Punch off. And it does a pretty decent amount of damage for being burnt and me having a Reflect up, and I'm like, jeez. But now the Slacking just can't do anything. So he goes into Ditto here, as I just Volt Switch out. It's the safe play, I don't really have a reason not to. And so, because of this, I go into my Dragapult, which is a nice free play, because I kind of just click Draco against his team, because where's the Dragon Resist? He doesn't have one. So, I just click Draco. I miss, unfortunately. That is kind of bad. You know, I could have gotten a lot of damage off on this Ditto. I don't think it killed, but it would have done a decent amount. As he just Volt Switch out on me. I'm like, okay. So he goes into Mamo here. Kind of a 3 play for him. I real I'm leftovers obviously there. And I'm like, I have Reflect up. This doesn't kill me. I outspeed unless he's Scarf. Like, he could be Scarf, but I don't think he would be Scarf. Because this thing never really runs Scarf. And against my team, Scarf isn't the best option. Like, he'd rather run something like Band, maybe. So I just fire off a Will-O-Wisp. And he goes for Earthquake, predicting me to switch into probably Melmetal. And we take it like it's nothing, because now he's burnt too, and I have Reflect up. So I'm like, okay, he can't do anything to Melmetal now. Even Earthquake's doing like 20% to me. As he goes for Stone Edge, a nice 2% on my Melmetal. And I'm like, okay. So this is interesting. He actually goes into Slacking here. As I just set up a sub, because I'm like, what? Why not? This thing can't touch me. So it's just kind of, you know, a 3 play. So I'm behind a sub. And I'm waiting for this thing to do something. I'm like, what's it going to do? So he actually goes for the Focus Punch. Interestingly, expecting me to like set up or something. But no, I just go for Earthquake, expecting him to go into Melmetal, but he just doesn't. So that's quite an interesting turn of events there. So I still have Reflect up. He goes for another Focus Punch, and I'm just like, nah, I'm not predicting anymore. I'm just going to go for Double Iron Bash and just kill this. Like, the Reflect's down now. That kind of sucks, but I'm still a Melmetal behind a sub. You have to be afraid of it. So he goes into Pikachu here. And I'm like, okay. I probably should have just Double Iron Bashed here. But he goes into Mamo here. I'm like, that's kind of an interesting play. I go for Earthquake. I should have just Double Iron Bashed. I'm not sure if it killed. It probably did, though. It's just that Pikachu. I probably should have just Double Iron Bashed. I don't know why I didn't. I just went for the Earthquake. It was like kind of a bad play on my part. As I switch back into Rotom Heat, because I'm like, this thing can't touch me. Like, and I actually find out, like, damn, Burn Mammoth doing 40% with Stone Edge to a physically defensive Rotom. Kind of nice. I just set up another Reflect. As he goes for another Stone Edge, and I just take it with ease. Like, my Reflect's back up now. I have no real reason to worry. I'm just like, I'm just going to Melmetal for 3 now, because he's going to Stone Edge again. And then he misses. This is so unfortunate, guys. Not the 2% chip. This would have been awful. So then he dies to burn. Now my Melmetal's in. He goes into Pikachu here. It's kind of like, yeah, this thing's kind of just predominant. I go into Rotom Heat. Like, I don't need this anymore, really. It's up. Let's last reflect. Like, Mamo's gone. Slacking's gone. It's done a good job. And I was like, he could Volt Switch here. He can also Surf. I was thinking about going Dragapult. This lets something out for 3. Like, if he Volt Switch, he can get serious momentum with, like, Beedrill. So I lose Voltigoist there, which is kind of a shame. But then I go into Gardevoir. And I should have just clicked the Psyshock here. I actually go for Hyper Voice. Expecting him to go maybe into Ditto to try and take it. But it still has 54% to Beedrill, which is kind of nice. So here I go into my Melmetal. As he clicks Knockoff. Oh no, he clicks Poison Jab here, sorry. That's later on. So he reveals Poison Jab. He U-turns out, takes the Rocky Helmet chip. He's now at a decent 29%. That thing's never coming in again. And he goes into Zapdos. I should have just clicked Double Iron Bash here. I was expecting the Ditto to come in again, but he just really doesn't want to not when I go into my Ditto, his Ditto here, against my Melmetal. So he U-turns out, takes the Rocky Helmet chip. I kind of expected this. And he goes into his own Ditto. And I just go for Double Iron Bash at this point, and it does a damn lot of damage. Like, damn. Melmetal's a beast, though. So, he reveals he's leftovers, which is quite interesting. He goes for Earthquake, as I get behind a sub. Doesn't even break the sub. This is the true power of Melmetal. The Reflect's up, so he goes for Earthquake here. I'm like, yeah, whatever. He wins the speed tie there, but I'm just going to Earthquake him back, do a ton of damage. Doesn't kill like I expected it to. But that's alright, that's okay. Because now I go into Mandibuzz on the Earthquake. And the Foul Play is just kind of 3 here, because I outspeed and it does a lot of damage to anything I've seen. The best thing it takes it is Zapdos, and it takes like 30%. And even then, it's not that good a position. So he goes into Pikachu here. Kind of the obvious play. He Surfs me. I kind of predicted this. But in a sense, I was like, Thunderbolt doesn't kill me. So I can just U-turn out, take the Thunderbolt, U-turn into Dragon Ball, and I get to click Draco again. But instead I actually just, yeah, he Surfs. So that's like less damage. I get Static Powered. You know, it is what it is. I actually go into Voila here. I'm like, wait, I can just click Psyshock. And I do that. And his Pikachu dies. So in comes Zapdos. I'm like, yeesh, I died to Brave Bird, so I'm switching out to Melmetal. As he does in fact go for the U-turn. Interesting play. He takes more Rocky Helmet chip. And now he goes into his Beedrill. Kind of expected. Now, I actually tank the knockoff like an absolute Chad. What a Chad, bro. And this allows me to kill with Double Iron Bash. Which is just so huge. Now this Beedrill's gone. It's only the Zapdos left. It could be Scarf, but I don't think it is Scarf. So he goes for Brave Bird, takes out my Melmetal. That's okay. So he takes my Rocky Helmet chip, and that just allows Dragapult to come in and finish it off with Draco. And that means I did win 4-0. So this is 5-0 than 4-0. What a comeback to this, you know, sort of draft thing. I know this is kind of a longer video. I probably shouldn't have gone into it as much, but yeah, my last one was like 8-9 minutes or something. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and this one was kind of late because we actually played it like a few minutes ago, not a few minutes ago, like 10 minutes ago, because we had to delay it because it was Easter yesterday, and that's when we planned in. I was like, yeah, that's kind of dumb. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you week 3.